es que me vale verga. Open gig at Wadubi, here we go. IG. Might be too loud.
Sentimiento no se mezcla en aventura.
Yo, the neighbor just texted me, bro. Really? Yeah, she said, I'm like, look at my response to this. That's what I'm like,
You're looking for $100,000 wedding?
Yes.
Yes. Why? I have high standards, and I feel like I shouldn't lower them just because I have. You're looking for $100,000 wedding?
Yes.
Yes. Why?
Yes. Yo estoy pendiente a lo tuyo, tú a lo mío. Quiero que lo hagamos y lo hagamos sin ritmos con mucha pasión. Qué rico se siente el calor. Mami te pegas, me ves con mucha canela. Mami te tomas de una buena manera. ¿Qué onda, mi gente?
You just saw it. You like the music.
You got the sign in the building.
You like the music.
We got DJ Sensation in the building.
You like the music.
We know y'all missed our topic, but we back. We back with another video. We back with another one. We back to talk about it. Let's talk about it. No cap.
A week has passed. What do you have to talk about this week? A week has passed. I like the music. Keep the music. Keep the music. I think it's
no cap. We talk about it. There's no cap. We're gonna talk about it to the fullest.
Compartan el video. Share the video like always. We're back in another episode. This week is the last week of September. Shout out to all my Virgos, but your time is up. Your time is up. It's officially Libra season. Libra season, baby. And we're gonna turn out. Shout out to all my Libras. A todos mis Libras. Saludos para todos ustedes. Shout out to my Virgo, but your time is up. Shout out to the Scorpios. Your time is coming, but it's not here yet.
I'm gonna say shout out to the Virgos. Shout out to the Libras or whatever. Y'all know who the real is. The Aries. It's not Aries season yet, but we're gonna celebrate the Aries year round. But you know, shout out to them. Shout out to them. They next up.
Aries. Aries is a very special topic.
Special? Why special? Special is crazy.
Yeah, got some undercover demons, man.
We not. I wouldn't say we undercover demons. It's just like, no, we not undercover demons.
Oh, you can put the right here, bro. Yeah, that
other one's gone. The one person pours up is done.
Jesus, who? Damn, that nigga be wild.
We both
I put Moscato on mine.
Okay. Listen, y'all talking about video. I'm not gonna lie. Leo's gonna trick us. So I'm gonna keep it funky.
He tricked us. He finally admitted where he put it in, but he tricked us.
That's why you got the big cup. What you got that from the movie theater?
Yeah.
That's right.
Right on point.
I have my own.
Which one is that? Is that Deadpool and Wolverine?
Nah, that Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, okay.
Wait, time out, Sam. Shout out to everyone that's in the chat. Listen, it's Thirsty Thursdays. That's all we have to cover today. Seems like every time we get online, we always have to cover. But last time we was definitely talking about some real talks last chat that we had. So for sure, today's Thursday.
Today is Tuesday. Today is Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Thirsty Tuesdays.
I'm not gonna say a name, but I love what I'm seeing right now. I love it.
Very special, babe. Thank you, babe. I kind of lost track of what's very special. So I don't know what we were talking about that she said that. I really don't. Because that was kind of the beginning. Pues saludos a todas las personas que están aquí activas con nosotros también en otro episodio de vamos a hablar sobre eso sin paja. We're going to talk about it, no cap. Josiah, Jaquan, Sensation, GME.
I don't know what he's saying, but vamos a hacer un papi de tres.
¿Cómo?
Tú, yo y la pared.
Ash,
I don't know what
doble.
he's talking about, but that's
Ash,
what I want.
el
Vamos
doble
a hacer un
también.
papi de tres.
Tú, yo.
Ajá.
y la pared.
Uy! Yes. I think who sings that? Gagoman? Shout out whoever sings that song. Ya se me olvidó.
He from Travesía, that's all I
I
know.
mean, like,
Shout out to Travesía, shout out to Bahamad.
I don't know. I
The two
don't know if
best.
that guy's from that.
Shout out
Two
Super,
best.
shout out KK.
Because I know the Hot Boys, the Hot Boys made one. That got it from that person.
Yeah, I think it was Galgoman and Tawaman.
Yeah, one of them. One of those.
I
Yes.
think they both come from Travesía, I'm not too sure. But again, shout out to Travesía and shout out to Bahamad. You know, a whole town.
Shout out to them for, I don't know why they forgot. But
Yeah. Like,
We all over the country.
hey, vamos a hablar sobre algo, even if you guys answer in English, pero para que algunos de nuestros seguidores entiendan lo que estamos hablando, voy a preguntar algunas cosas en español a ustedes. So, pregunta, cuando ustedes eran cipotes, ¿raspaban o no?
Sí, hombre, Jesús. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, let me tell you about the story one time. See if I can tell you about the story one time. So, I remember when I was like a little bit young, I had to be like maybe 12, 13, and y'all had took me to like this party in Honduras. I don't know, it was like a school party. So mind you, these kids are in high school, and in Honduras they do things differently. Out there, like I don't know why, but they were partying there in the middle of the day. Like it was 3 American kids, me, my brother, and I think 2 of my cousins. I know Samuel was probably there as well, and I think my man Silas, shout out to him. We were supposed to go over there for a soccer game or something of that nature, and we ended up going over there to have a party there in the middle of the day at a school in Honduras, which was crazy. And that was like one of my first time ever. I swear to you, bro, it was crazy. I was in like maybe 11 or 12 at the time, but that's like one of the most craziest experience I ever had in my lifetime. So it was definitely something to experience for sure.
And
That was my first time.
And then you get rocked?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. I always heard about like when you go into like ride cheeks, because that's what the terminology was back in the days, riding cheeks. When I first seen it, I was just like, "What the hell are they doing?" Because I think it was at Maximus at the time, and you know, our mom, you know, used to take us over there. They used to serve like the hot dogs and like the Kool-Aid like packets and stuff like that for the kids at night, like when you went to Maximus. But after a certain amount of time, you couldn't be there. So I think I was maybe around.
not to interrupt, but
Yeah, go
when
ahead.
you first heard about it, it was called Ride Cheeks.
Riding cheeks. When I
first heard about it, it was Bronx Wine.
no.
Damn.
No.
That's not even it.
You knew me when I was in middle school.
Yeah.
Bronx Wine was more like a Dominican Puerto Rican thing. It wasn't really Hondu. It was still riding cheeks. It was still a version or a way to do it, but it definitely was not Hondu.
Yeah, it was called
Well,
Riding
not
cheeks.
though, but like for y'all, Ride Cheeks. But for me, Bronx Wine, you go get behind some cheeks and
It was very.
I mean,
taboo.
essentially, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's the same thing,
Just
but you
different
know,
style,
for a
yeah.
different time frame, it's called something different. But when I came across it, it wasn't Riding Cheeks. It's the Bronx Wine, and that's what was lit during my time.
That was actually the name of a song.
Bronx Wine.
Yeah.
What song?
I think Faruko, one of them made it. You can even look it up on YouTube. Yeah, Bronx Wine was a song. It was a song.
Okay, so
Now,
I'm
that
gonna
was
have
like
to
a trend.
look that up.
Yeah.
So when I was in high school.
It became a trend, but it was literally a song. Yeah, from the song, the trend came about.
Damn. But for sure, like going to Maximus was you know, again, the kids was there for a certain amount of time, and then after that, like around like maybe 9 or 10 o'clock, all the kids had to go. And by that time, all the adults was there, and you know, I was like the first time seeing like not even adults. They weren't even like in their 30s or anything. They were young, like maybe around like the early 20s, 21, 22 around that time, and I had to be like maybe 12, 13. And I see that in person, kids, people riding cheeks, and I was like, what the hell are they doing? It was like, I don't even know, bro. It was just something different. But
You know what they was doing. Vamos a hacer un papi de tres.
in all seriousness, yeah, that's how it was, bro. It was like, but it was taboo. Like
Yeah,
I was like, how could I possibly do that with like all these adults around me? I just don't
That's a fact, but I was looking at it as un party de tres.
Shit.
That's a fact.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, like, those were good times back then. Like, it was just so free. It was different at that time compared to now.
compared
To
to
a
now.
certain extent, though, but
I think the only difference back then compared to now is like everybody has their phones and cameras, so and everybody's recording, so you can never get to sneaky link it.
you're right. But I feel like the generation, because now Gen Z, right? That's what we are right now. Gen Z, I'm Gen Z, but now we pushing on another generation. I feel like that generation is not as lit as us, or we just coming to like the end of times and mid generations.
I think for us, because like I know that Sensation is a little bit older than both of us. I think that in my opinion, I think we have lived like the best time because we get like the best of both worlds, more or less like the barangas and everything. Now we got like the ronas that's new, like Hungarian music that's coming out. So we can like I guess keep the mindset of being like older or elder, yeah, like the mindset of the elder, but we also can relate to like kind of how the young generation is definitely coming up and still like manage to still tune in and mix within, still understand like how they either think or they talk to each other. So
That's what I said. That's what I was saying. Like I definitely feel like I'm like around the cutoff age, or where it becomes that where you get to experience the best of both worlds.
I would definitely say shout outs to anybody that's born between the 1996 and definitely 2002 era. Cause we definitely the type of folks that are like mixed and blended in between, and you never know which way you kind of like fall, either with the elderly, so like the what generation are you? Generation?
Millennial, aka Gen Y.
Yeah, that I don't know what that all that means, but for the most part, like
Millennial, yeah. Gen Y, that was the first time I heard that.
yeah, I don't. Yeah, listen, if you're human, you're human. I don't usually go by the millennials and Gen Y, Gen Zs, because at the end of the day,
Respectfully, that's how I look at it. If you hear me at the end of the day. We may have different beliefs, but I'm not gonna categorize you into different generations because you freaking 30 years old as opposed to 25. Like it's you believe in what you believe in, I believe in what I believe in, but I'm not gonna make no type of certain category for you.
now don't get me wrong. There are tendencies between generations.
That's a fact.
How let me ask you this: how religious are you, or how much do you believe in a certain type of religion?
I'm gonna say right off, I'm Catholic. I did my communion, I did my confirmation. I went to Catholic school for 4 years until I got kicked out. But like I'm around with the Catholic because my grandmother woke me up every Sunday. We going to church, not let's go to church or do you want to go to church. It's we going to church, and there's nothing that I can say there because that's my grandmother. It don't matter what I'm gonna say. I might get slapped. It don't matter what I say. I'm still gonna end up going to church regardless. So I'm Catholic.
I definitely had the same experience. Like growing up every Sunday, I had to be at church. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. But I want to ask you, I guess, what age or what time period did you kind of like, not deflected from that, but like you wasn't going to church as often anymore and wasn't forced or had the decision to make like I'm not going to go to church or something.
I would say when I got like old enough to make my own decisions for myself because as long as for as long as I was young, probably before I went to middle school, I would say maybe 10, 11. I was at my grandmother's house every weekend to the point where it was Saturday. Wake up, it's time to go to church. And there was no telling no to your grandparents during that time, especially at the age I was at, because you know what's gonna happen. You tell your grandmother, "No, I'm not going to church," and I'm only 9, 8 years old. I'm gonna get slapped. So it was like I didn't have a say so, and not to say like I didn't enjoy it or anything. The only thing I wish I could have been different is that I went to more English mass than I went to Garifuna mass, or maybe Spanish mass.
But I just feel like I feel like English mass, like or aka American mass, is kind of like no tiene sazón.
No, that's a fact.
It's
That's a
like-
fact.
it's
Don't get me wrong. That's a fact.
mad boring. Like it's just it doesn't say like even like we get the drums in there, bro. Like doom doom doom.
We 100% get the drums, but it's like if for somebody like me, like I can't speak Spanish fluently, understand it, but like if I can't speak it fluently, I understand it. Just imagine like a kind of a Garifuna mass. And I've been a part of Garifuna masses, and it's just like to me, it's just like
You know what's crazy? I can relate.
I'm lost.
because You go to I can go to Ghana for the mass and I have no idea what they're
They
saying.
say
What's going on, right?
I don't know
Yeah.
what they're saying, what's going on.
me too. I just go based on the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, I
Like
think
I can feel it. Like
yeah, you feel that shit, bro. Like you fake hear the drums,
Yep.
you hear the caracol,
yeah.
you hear like just everything, and then it feels like it just draws you in. It definitely brings you to a different type of world when you go to anything like that. I can definitely relate to you on I would say more of like I feel like Spanish and I think Spanish is more fun. Only
agree.
because like when you go to a Spanish mass, like you can understand what some of the stuff they're saying, but then some of the other stuff is just like too Latin for the most part. Like way too Latin to the point where you can't even decipher some of the things that are even read in the Bible and stuff like that. So honestly, I can understand Spanish, but not to that full point where I can sit there and listen to the whole entire thing, the whole entire time. So I would rather go to an English one. I would definitely go to an English church.
Like, you're supposed to all share it, bro. So we can go there.
But yeah, so I'll definitely go to a Spanish, English church and a Garifuna mass before I go to Spanish. Before you go to
I would say I would go to a Spanish mass because I can understand more of what's going on during Spanish mass as opposed to going to a Garifuna. Spanish is a whole different thing. Like I said, I don't speak Spanish fluently. I can understand what's going on. Don't get me wrong, but now we going to. If I can't speak Spanish, what makes you guys think I can understand Garifuna? Going to a Garifuna mass is like unless the priest or whatever you want to call him says wait tablugu, I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
I definitely agree on that, bro. Like,
Or even ube dunanu, let me get some water, like if it's not one of those two things, I don't know what's going on at a Garifuna mass, honestly. And that's honestly speaking. Like it might be different for you guys, but me, like I'm not gonna understand what's going on in Garifuna unless it's an insult or like something basic.
like we can be nothing.
Do you know that's what I'm gonna understand, but depending on where the priest has intentions off for the rest of the mass, like that might be the only thing that I understand.
Do you know the word Garifuna name Masu?
My point exactly.
I think it's like dog tail or dog or something like that.
See, like,
But I don't know Garifuna either, so like.
And do you guys ever feel out of place? Meaning like due to the fact like myself, I don't know Garifuna. You know. I used to feel like I didn't belong. Like not that I didn't belong, but like I couldn't like relate to my own culture just because I didn't understand the dialect.
but that's why I would say no to answer your question exactly. No, I don't feel out of place because the only people to experience that was our parents. It's not like I feel like our parents more will want us to understand Spanish before they get us to understand something like Garifuna because that's complex. Spanish is not necessarily complex. It's another language. Yes, it may be harder to learn, but it's not as complex as Garifuna.
I agree with that. I would love to learn like the Galician language, but obviously it's a little bit harder to learn it as you become older and older and older. Like when you're younger, it's easier to like listen to certain keywords. Because honestly, I don't think most of us growing up that like can understand Spanish or know what Spanish like know Spanish itself. We didn't grow up like learning Spanish in the schools. It was more or less like we could understand it due to the simple fact that either our parents either told us or we were listening to when we were younger. But
It wasn't until like high school kind of where you get the chance where do you want to be in Spanish, French, or
yeah, you get the option.
whatever
to
fucking
say
language it is in school.
I would definitely agree with that. So I
I
mean,
mean, like I
would
always
definitely-
went to Spanish route because I always understood it, even though I was never able to speak it. But me being able to understand it is like it's an easy grade. I'm gonna pass this class flying numbers regardless because I can understand it. But don't ask me to speak it to you.
I can agree. I definitely agree with that. How about you? How was it like growing up knowing Spanish and English and like actually, picking between the two in certain situations and key moments?
Well, to me personally, like English was my second language. Spanish was my first. I got even that's pretty much non-existent. Um, I used to feel out of place with the Garifunas and the Americans just because I didn't know Garifuna and I didn't know English and Spanish at one point. So like to me, it creates a little bit of personally a conflict of interest. Why do I say that? Because I love my culture, I love my people, I love where I come from. But then sometimes when you're around your own people and they speak all the time, they're making fun of you because you don't know it. It makes you kind of start having resentment because they're like over there kind of bullying you just because you don't understand what they're saying or whatever in your own culture. So it's like the same thing with like not knowing English. When I first came to this country, I didn't know not one. Well, I knew a couple of words in English, but like the extreme basics, not to have a conversation. So the fact that I was able to learn the entire language and be able to write it, read it, and understand it the way I do now, it took a journey or whatever. So like to me, I always felt like it's about the effort. I feel like that's like in the world in general. I feel like Americans are very comfortable with the idea that people gotta submit to the American way of things, and they don't feel the need to learn other countries' things. Like they feel like for instance, Honduras. Let me give an example. When I was in school in Honduras, we had a class where we had to learn basically every country's capital around the world, especially the Central America and South America. We have to learn every capital and memorize it and things like that. Know who was the one that helped them get the independence from Spain, shit like that. In the United States, no. The United States is kind of worried about their own history. They didn't worry about other countries' history. And that kind of, in my opinion, that kind of gives you a weakness, a weak spot, because your enemies is learning about you, but you're not learning about your enemies. Because you think you're that good that your enemies can never reach you. So that was the same thing with language. I feel like with language, a lot of times, when people like me come to this country, not knowing English, it feels like, oh, you're out of place. But then you start leveling it up quickly because you feel the need to learn, to adapt. And now you learn their way while keeping your way. Now you become better than them. That's kind of what happens. That's what happened with like the immigrants. A lot of immigrants come to this country, they work their asses off, next thing you know, they start living better than the Americans themselves because of the same mentality, not feeling the need to level up because they're already American. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm American. Why should I work that much harder? I already got papers, or I could go to college anytime I want to. Immigrants don't have that luxury.
And I would say, not to interrupt you, I'm sorry, but I would say like that would be to like a certain extent. Like
Why
between
don't you
the
guys speak Spanish?
but again,
I do.
between
I
the
do.
millennials, nah, I'm not a part of. I would assume I'm not a part of your generation. You probably like right at the borderline, millennial, Gen Z. Yeah, like for me, because I'm younger than you, speaking, I would say like it'll be different for you guys, like as millennials than Gen Z, because you guys actually had the time, not you, but more so of you. Even though you're a millennial, you had the time to grow up in Honduras. Even though, like, I have immigrant parents, alien parents, whatever the fuck you want to call them, that grew up in Honduras, but was able to come to America in time to raise me here. I don't necessarily have the same struggles that you guys had growing up because you got, well, speaking for you exactly, you grew up in Honduras as opposed to, yeah, my mom grew up in Honduras. She came here. She didn't know as much here, but she was able to raise me here. I grew up more of like the American kind of way as opposed to the way you grew up. Yeah, you might have been born here, but you was raised out there. So you didn't grow up an American kind of way. So growing up as an American is like, why must I learn these type of things? Like, yes, it's beneficial because that's where I come from. That's my background at the end of the day. Why would I grow up feeling like I have to learn these things as opposed to someone that's like, I'm coming to America trying to learn these things? Because at the end of the day, yeah, I grew up American, but it's like what am I gonna go to? I'm not planning to go to live in Honduras as an American. You or as a Honduran that's coming to America is like I'm trying to go and fit in. So I have to learn the language. I have to learn it fluently, and I have to learn their way of life to try to make better for myself at the end of the day.
I see it from both perspectives because, I grew up in an American lifestyle, definitely, but always went back like every now and then to Honduras to go back, and it definitely made me the person I am today. I will always have the love, respect for Honduras, and know why the reason why I was raised the way I was raised, the type of person I am today. But I can understand like the American lifestyle when you only grow up in a certain area, when you only grow up in a certain place, and you don't get the opportunity to see like trees, birds, and stuff like that. Because I've been a part of the education system and seen kids that never stepped out of
But I
like
wouldn't
outside
not
the
to interrupt
Bronx.
you, but I wouldn't say that neither though because like the both of us, like you were born in the Bronx, I'm pretty sure, right? Correct? Yes. I'm born in the Bronx. Were we one of those kids or people that didn't get a chance to experience more than where we come from? I
I
was born in the Bronx, yes, don't get me wrong, but I was in Honduras every summer.
So like that's why I meant like by some kids don't even get the opportunity to leave the Bronx where it's like we would call it the jungle, concrete jungle for the most part. And when they don't go uptown, like when they don't go past like Mount Vernon, they don't go past Yonkers and knowing us because we know the location and stuff like that, you never get to see anything green. You don't get to see like trees like after trees. They only see like the concrete jungle for the most part. So I think it's definitely a deficit for a lot of people that grow up in the cities or just anywhere that it's like city like in like Houston or in New York and stuff like that because they never get the opportunity to either fly to go and see different animals, see a beach, see like how other people live and actually get the perspective of what it's what is given to them in America pretty much. Like it's not easy for them, but the privileges that they have compared to some of the privileges that other people don't have when they go to like places that are third world countries for the most part. So I think that it definitely factors in like the type of experiences that you definitely have and the type of parents you grow up with, and if they expose you to a lot of what the world has to offer or has to show. Because for the most part, I don't think a lot of Hondurans have the mindset of wanting to go to Europe or anything like that. But I can also be wrong because Honduras itself is a country that is a part of the World Cup, a part of the International Olympics and stuff like that. So they get to see either the Olympics or who they're competing against, worldly countries, different countries. And we get that experience. So once we see it, it's something that we can strive to go for and strive to become a part of and stuff like that. So I definitely think going back to our original conversation, I do think that Hondurans or Honduran Americans should take like going to the countries and like traditions and especially like the Garifuna language, we should revert trying to communicate and trying to learn that all over again so that that tradition or that culture never dies, because it's a thing where I know all three of us are Garifuna, but none of us know the Garifuna language. And I couldn't say this, and I
Only
wanted
thing
to
I can
ask this
tell you is
question.
wait, Tabalugu, Ederogo.
And I want to ask that this. I wanted to ask you this question for the most part. How do y'all feel about? Because I definitely got this as well.
Hold on,
Yeah.
it's happened. Sensation is happening. Let us. What do you have to say? Like being, I don't know if you understand Garifuna, like to a certain extent, or even if you understand it fluently or can speak it fluently. Like, what would you say that's like? What is like a okay? My generation was taught to a fact that where we can understand Garifuna to a certain extent, but like to you guys to where it's like you only understand the insults. It's just like what do you feel like went wrong in the generations that we were raised in, as opposed to you when it comes to a certain language, a complex language like Garifuna?
Well, I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like the reason that might have happened is because most of the, like our parents or even probably grandparents, they were focusing more on educating the newer generation in a more mainstream way, aka the Latino way, so they could be able to strive more and fit in more. So they focus more on trying to probably teach them the language that's spoken in the cities, the language that's spoken probably in other countries, rather than Garifuna, because Garifuna is not a language. Garifuna is a dialect. Garifuna is only spoken in certain countries, which is Belize, Nicaragua, Honduras, Guatemala, maybe St. Vincent, maybe, but like it's not like a recognized. I believe if you do a research, that even is not a recognized language from the Geneva Conventions. I don't think it is. I believe it's not. I'm pretty sure that it's not. And therefore, like when you grow up in, it's like people that grow up in like probably Hawaii. I'm pretty sure Hawaii has their own dialect. They probably have their own language that only they understand. You know, like when they come to the United States, well, they part of the United States, but when they come to the mainland, they gotta speak strictly English because nobody really speaks Hawaiian unless you're in Hawaii. You know, I don't.
Okay, so I would say let's pause right there. That is a perfect explanation. So how would you feel based on what you said being like Garifuna being like a certain dialect? How would you feel when you hear your family member, maybe like whether it's your mom, aunt, grandmother, uncle, or even a brother, being able to speak Garifuna Spanish and English in the same sentence? Because we do have family members that do that. They'll speak all three in the same sentence, to where it's like, damn, like how can you do that? Like I can understand the Spanish aspect. I can understand the English, but when it comes to Garifuna, like I don't get a full understanding of what you're saying. So how have you became so fluent to the fact that we can understand all three in one sentence?
I feel like that's in a case by case basis. I feel like most Garifuna families either speak like Spanish and English or Spanish and Garifuna, or did I say Garifuna in English? So I feel like it goes like that. It's rare when the whole family or family members from the same family speak English, Spanish, and Garifuna at the same time. It's rare. It's not frequent that you see that because especially nowadays the newer generation. Like for instance, like when I asked you guys, well, how come you guys don't speak Spanish? That's an example. It's not because you're not capable, you're not smart enough to understand the language or pick it up. It's lack of effort. Yeah, I probably feel like, nah, I sound funny. So therefore, since I sound funny, I'm not gonna speak.
And I could agree. Because my thing always, so I've been going to Honduras since I was 2 years old. My thing, since a kid, I was always having trouble with the tense. Like the correct terms for the present tense, like they're tense,
Oh, like
like
mañana, hoy, um,
like
¿qué
yeah,
vamos a hacer mañana? O
yeah, like
cómo vas a estar para el próximo día?
you see, yeah, things like that. So things of that nature, like when I saw that I was struggling with that, like I never cared to speak Spanish. Like even though I understand that I never cared to speak Spanish because it's just like, why would I care to speak that type of language when I'm struggling with speaking it, as opposed to like, okay, I understand that that's good enough for me. I can understand it and answer you in English.
Um, Caribbean Goji and me said, I feel like our parents, when they come here, are focused on giving us what we need, like providing a lot of a roof and food. So we grow up by ourselves or by the people we hang out with, like African Americans. I didn't really grow up around Spanish speaking people, and my mom will be at work, which is legit.
Very true.
It's,
I can agree with that right there. That's exactly my case, like my scenario. Like
That's true, but like, okay, like look at me. I'm an example of what I'm talking about. I came to this country without knowing English, and I learned it. You know, I learned it. Like if you would have saw me when I was when I came here, I was going to sixth grade. If you would have seen me then, I wouldn't have been able to speak to you guys because I didn't know how to speak. And I learned it to the point that now we have a whole stream talking 95% of the time in English. So I put the effort because yes, I moved here, but at the same time I lived in Honduras 13 years. I could have easily been like other Garifunas that move here too, and they feel comfortable enough to just remain speaking Spanish. I know family members of mine that moved here around the same age as I did or earlier than me, and they speak more Spanish than English. Mind you, they came here at a younger age than I did.
would you say would you say it's easier to adapt to English speaking as it is than like Spanish? Because yes, you might have certain family members that came here that still speak more Spanish than English when they get around a certain crowd. But then you also have like a crowd of people that no matter who they're around, they're gonna speak more English than Spanish because that's what they're more comfortable doing, or maybe that's what they learned. So just like you told me yesterday, when we went to the taco truck, we're going to use Spanish because this is like good enough time to practice. But to me, I thought about it and I knew exactly what to tell the guy, but I still went to the front of the truck like, I don't want you to judge me because I might have said one thing the wrong way, so I'm still gonna speak to you in English because I know you understand English.
So it's like criticism.
I mean, yeah, pretty,
Yeah.
your self consciousness. I mean, y'all guys hear my accent? I used to be conscious about that. I still am, but not as I used to be. Where I learned that like the reason why I have an accent is because I speak another language pretty well. So the way I speak English is la manera que lo puedo cambiar de un solo, and that's how I do it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people cannot do that. I wish I could do it in Garifuna. That would be like an extra plus. But so to me, yeah, they're checking up on Jaquan.
Yeah.
Nature versus nurture. Okay, I like that. Ooh, look at you, babe. Ooh, IG. Yeah, that's true. I feel like it's like one of those situations where like
Think.
okay, the tools is in the gaveta by the coffee maker. So I feel, to me personally, I feel like it's one of those situations where it depends on what you grow up into, but like it's also your willingness to your willingness to learn and to grow from what you're used to. That's what it comes down to. Like I feel like I said earlier a few minutes ago, I could have easily become one of those people that come to the United States and never speak English. Because most of my family knows Spanish, so I'm speaking to them in Spanish. Because I feel like I sound funny in English, so I'm not gonna embrace that English language. But I made it my business to like I was on ESL. I was in ESL, and in ESL that helped me learn how to with pronunciations. That helped me learn how to like write and things like that. That helped me. But then after I left ESL, it was up to me to continue my teaching what I learned. So I made it my business to keep speaking more English so I could get better at it. So like, and then not only that, like I just feel like it's like an entitlement mentality. I feel like it's like an entitlement mentality. Um, we could easily deviate from this main topic to another subtopic that has to do with this. Is that, for instance, most people that live in a more better lifestyle, suburban lifestyle, when they go from a suburban living and then you take them to like a thorough country living, they don't know how to adapt because they were so used to being pampered. So they don't know how to have that survival thing, that survival instinct. So it's the same thing where like, are you gonna adapt and learn how to survive, or are you gonna perish under the circumstances?
Honestly, like being a teacher, because like you were a student a part of the ESL, and it's funny because I was a teacher a part of like the ESL. So of course I had to like differentiate during my academic years and teaching certain students about like I just had to speak to them also in English and also speak to them in Spanish. That's most differentiation and also either weight differentiation, age differentiation. So it was like a lot of the teaching that I had to do came with like splitting up and understanding how certain students act, how certain students talk to each other, etc. So how they communicate and socialize. So for the most part, like I understand that how difficult it could be because when somebody really cannot understand what you're saying, like either in Spanish or English, it's definitely hard or it comes off difficult to even create those type of relationships with any other person that doesn't speak the language. And I can tell the reason why either a person that speaks Spanish will only speak to a person that speaks Spanish, or a person that speaks English will only speak to a person that speaks English. Because in all reality, everybody that comes from America, or anybody that comes from like, let's say, I would say England, right, the Great Britain or whatever. No, not Great Britain. It consists of four countries, but England itself, like they were considered like Americans, kind of different from how they grew up, and they speak both English, right? But it's just the differentiation of how they speak their dialect and the words that they pronounce, so on and so forth compared to Americans. So it's almost the same for every kind of it's almost the same for every person. It just depends on the majority of popularity that is between that group for the most part, right? So again, I don't speak English. I don't speak Spanish as well as other Hungarians or as well as Hungarians period or Spanish speaking people. But for the most part, I was still like that bridge or that boundary that can connect a Spanish person to a person that speaks English in my school due to the simple fact that I can both I can interpret and understand what both languages are saying. And it goes deeper to the type of person that you are and the type of person that you're growing up to be. Because it's not easy to go from speaking Spanish to nosotros pero hablamos en español, talking in English like that. When we go to Spain, we grew up going to Spanish. So it's like, it's definitely something that is like kind of almost like a gift, almost. So, again, for the most part, like learning both languages and growing up, Honduran, but not getting that Garifuna side will always be a detriment to us because just having that understanding of now me and you can speak in our language, and a person that speaks Spanish and a person that speaks English would have no idea what we're saying. Or a person that's African probably can understand slightly the dialect of what we're talking about, but wouldn't understand the full conversation. They would have to put it piece by piece.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good analysis and a good breakdown, and I definitely agree with you. The nature versus nurture thing, like it also depends on DNA. I feel like it also has to do a lot with like intelligence, like IQ. I feel like that plays a role too. I feel like if you got many family members that are capable of learning another language in an easier manner, then most likely it's something in your brain that's able to learn. Like it's like a brain thing. I'm not no professor, no, I'm not no I don't have no PhD, none of that. So I wouldn't be able to break that down. But I feel like if it runs in your blood to be able to adapt to another language and stuff like that, you probably will pick it up easier too. I don't know. It's like a weird DNA thing, and I feel like the nature thing. Um, the nature part of it is a conflict for me because, like I said earlier, I went from one environment to another environment. I was able to adapt to both, and I feel like at the end of the day, it was my will to become able to adapt to my new environment. So the nature part of the nurture versus nature part, I feel like it has to do a lot with DNA in that aspect because we could have probably been raised the same way under different rules, but if you have it in you to become different, you will.
Now, I want to ask: do you have, or did you have anybody during that time period to kind of put you in that position, almost like a person that was guiding you in order for you to get to, I guess, that higher like, level? Did you have anybody? Do you remember a certain character or a certain person in your life during that time that you remember off the top of your head, like a specific name or not?
That helped me do what exactly?
Pretty much like was able to break that, I guess, barrier of you speaking Spanish compared to speaking English and being accustomed to how things kind of are in like I
I,
guess the American culture.
I would say my English improved when I joined the military. Obviously, to be completely honest with you, throughout high school, I still struggle a bit with my English, but my English became better in high school. But I feel like in the military was better because I was forced to basically speak Spanish all the time. I mean English all the time, because in the military, while you're in uniform, you're not allowed to speak any other language but English. So that kind of helped me in a way to just keep speaking English all the time. And then in the military, most of my friends didn't speak Spanish, so it helped me. Like you know what, I'm already comfortable speaking English. I know I have assholes as coworkers, but I'm gonna embrace those assholes and show them that I'm capable of learning their language while they're not capable of learning mine. So that's how I felt, and that's what helped me push myself and actually become more articulate and be able to convey my thoughts in a more intelligent manner than they can in my
I definitely can agree with that. I definitely can agree with that. Because again, like growing up, I never had an accent, but certain words, pronunciations, and certain like just growing up, like overall, we are not just normal folks that grew up. Like, there could be like a slight thing. Like again, I always go back to the conversation as well. I was wearing Jordans in a female clothes and something you're a baby Jordans back in middle school. Yeah, I swear to you. But it's like when you think about it from an adult perspective, none of that kind of matters. As long as you have all of that knowledge and education, just think about it, bro. Just think about it for the most part. If you knew Garifuna Spanish and English, like today, right now, and you can speak like a form of Spanish plus Garifuna. So again, I still think that it's it's a privilege to grow up knowing Spanish and growing up knowing English for the most part.
Oh yeah.
And, like it's something that we should definitely be proud of, and also still continue. But while our kids or while our generation grows up behind us, we should definitely grow up knowing Garifuna, knowing that a lot of the folks from Honduras and the people that we grew up with are now starting to migrate and still come to the United States. And now Honduras just left kind of abandoned the streets.
I mean, that's what I was saying earlier. Like the newer generation, unfortunately, they're gonna be like the end of what we know as um, multicultural Garifunas. I feel like most of the newer generation they will be just strictly pretty much American. Also, it all depends on the parents from this generation, like the parents from my generation and yours, because you know people from your age group are starting to become parents too. So I feel like it's up to us to make sure that we teach our kids the culture, that we take them around the culture, and not try to think that we're better than anybody in our culture because we're not. Yes, our culture tends to behave pretty ignorantly at moments, but at the end of the day, our culture still has a lot to offer in a good manner. Where like, yo, let's not act like we never acted ignorant once upon a time in our life and then act like we better than them only because we grew up out of it. Like everything has a phase, and yes, we all become older, and some people mature and some people don't. So like for the people that don't mature, don't look down on them. They just didn't have they just don't have the either the brain, they, they don't have the intelligence to be able to grow out of it, and some people do. So like, unfortunately, that's just humanity in general. So when it comes to our people, as one, as Garifan, as yes, there's people that do dumb stuff, and it will continue to happen even long after we're gone. But I feel like having our kids involved in that culture is a big part and a big step of having them understand that yo, we are more than just American.
I have a question for you now. It might get a little bit spicy. Are you letting any of your kids be a Garifuna person?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Would I let anybody date? Well, would I let any of my kids date a Garifuna? Well, it depends. Um, it depends. That's hard. The reason I say it depends is because like if it's from like if it's from like my pueblo, it will be hard. Even if from Bahamara, it will be more acceptable. But if it's from like Travesía, it's a little more difficult because the chances that if it's from Travesía, the chances of us being related is high. Because at the end of the day, most Garifunas, we already related right off the back. It's an uncomfortable conversation.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Anybody that I come across that's from Honduras, I feel like somehow, some way, down the lineage, we are Hungarian. Like we are cousins, like of some sort. Like we down the lineage.
It's true. It's a very uncomfortable fact. Like you know, it's difficult, but it is what it is. And I personally, I okay. When my kids get to the age where they start dating and everything, if they happen to run into a Honduran, specifically a Garifuna or a Garifuna from Guatemala or Belize, then it is what it is. I'll just make sure that I do my homework from my side to make sure that they're not related. If they're related, like they have to be like fourth cousin type shit, like meaning like distant. Because we're not gonna sit here and act like it didn't happen with the Europeans, like it didn't happen with the Americans. That shit happened. I'm pretty sure when they had the colonies, you know, the first 14 colonies or whatever it was, I'm pretty sure they were fucking each other back then because there were only so many English people here. You know, so it's like, yeah, it's the truth. Like probably a lot of those Europeans that traveled here, they end up fucking each other. You know, like it's just part of human history as a whole. But will you purposely allow your kid or anything? No, I wouldn't allow my kid to do that. If I'm aware of what's going on, my kid's not doing that. I'm getting in the middle 1000%.
So they can date Garifuna. So what if they're like, so so you would allow your kids initially to date Garifuna. Well,
Yes, I would.
okay.
I love you too, Iha.
Well, on that note, I mean, You know what I'm saying? That was amazing. Honestly. That was definitely amazing. Love you too, Princess, my niece. So yeah, man, we here. It's definitely a thirsty Tuesday for sure, for sure.
Yes, facts.
Um, if anybody in the views has any questions to ask, please ask away. We here enjoying ourselves. Definitely a thirsty Tuesday. Just here, chilling. See if you got anything on your mind that you want to discuss, anything that pops up, anything that you thought about or seen this weekend, anything over the weekend that you wanted to kind of discuss.
Well, I would say over the weekend it was like a regular weekend. I'm more of a person that like if I'm not out there making bread, I'm staying home and I'm gonna watch Netflix. So the biggest thing that I did this weekend on Netflix, I was watching that docu series based on the Los Hermanos Menendez on Netflix. It's called Monsters, Los Hermanos Menendez, and that's literally the highlight of my weekend. But that show is really good. I don't know if anybody else watched it, but that show basically is a lot of psychology behind it. And I enjoy shows that make you think. I enjoy shows that make you show you all the side of humanity because oftentimes we don't think about why certain people engage in certain actions. We don't judge them based on the actions that they do. But sometimes I'm not saying you gotta justify psychopaths or murderers, but sometimes if you sit there and look at their background, sometimes you could kind of relate on how or why they behave the way they do. Only that the difference between them and probably us is that we don't execute like they execute. But there probably be days that we all feel like depressed, that we all feel happy, that we all feel sad, that we all feel angry, all types of emotions. There's some people that just are able to keep a lid on it and not act on those emotional impulses and probably let's say I hate somebody, I'm gonna go kill him. There's people I'm pretty sure out there that you hate somebody so bad, but you hold yourself back from doing something crazy like going to look for them and killing them because you probably have something in your brain that still works that holds you back from executing on that. But there are certain people that don't have the ability to actually hold the impulses or control the emotions and they act on that emotion. And that's how they become murderers.
So do you think that is a form of morale or is that a form of faith?
I would say it's a form of ethics. That's what it comes down to. Faith, I don't feel like faith has nothing to do with it. I'm pretty sure that there has been Christians or Catholics or anybody that probably has a strong religious foundation that still act up on their emotions and they do heinous acts like murder, rape, pedophilia, and all of that stuff. So I don't think it has anything to do with faith.
How about morale overall? Like a person's morale.
Oh, like morals.
Yeah.
Okay. The morals, yes. I feel like yes, I love that part. I feel like me personally, I'm not a very religious person. Um, I used to be, but I grew up into believing more on my actions as a human being and having 100% accountability on myself. So I feel like my morality is what controls my actions in a lot of things. Like I feel like you don't have to be in church every weekend to be a good human being. Shit, you don't have to be in church every weekend at all. No weekends at all to be a good human being. Human being. I feel it comes down to the way you were raised and also the ethics that your parents taught you. That's what it comes down to. Your ethics strengthen your morals.
Okay. Yeah, so station, we got something in the comments. We got a question in the comments. I don't know if you want to read it out loud for us.
How do you feel about a girl having high standards but she doesn't meet them herself? Ooh, that's tough. That's a good one.
I mean, a female having high standards for herself, but she's not meeting it is kind of it's very relatable. I mean, it happens too often than not. I think definitely people expect themselves to be more of a superwoman and a superman than they actually are for the most part. I feel like you can have high standards for yourself, but if they're obtainable standards for you, for the most part, like you can't think yourself as a Beyonce and knowing that you're a Beyonce. Not even like Beyonce for the most part. I'm not a Rihanna fan. I'm not a Beyonce fan. I'll probably go like a Carrie Hilson or a Maggie Bird type of woman. But for the most part, like it's tough to kind of keep those high standards and your past definitely affects everything that you kind of say.
Yeah.
Your motives definitely change the way that a person kind of thinks, the way that you carry yourself as well can determine how you know you view it as a person. I definitely think that you can't judge a book by its cover, but the more that you understand a person, you understand like if their standards meet the requirements of how the person actually is. It definitely takes a certain level of time to understand how a person thinks, how a person carries himself, how a person acts, depending on the situation as well. So, if that person can say that they have high standards and the person that they're talking to or trying to, you know, be a part of or whatever can consider their standards high, then I definitely think that that person has high standards. But for the most part, I don't think a female can have super high standards without you reaching or trying to attain that goal.
Um,
It's like me saying like if I see Kim Kardashian in the street, she probably has high standards, but because I know her past, because I know her like she has a sex tape, etc., etc., blah, 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 I can't see her as a person with high standards, no matter how much she puts herself up on that top table.
I see what she announced.
You know what I'm saying? Like I just can't see that. I just any celebrity that has been ran through other celebrities, how could you consider that high standards? No, seriously, I'm dead. Like, how could you consider that high standards if you got ran through by every male celebrity during that time, and you still think that you are a top tier woman?
I agree. I definitely agree with that. Like I understand where you're coming from. Sometimes some people try to live up to a standard that they don't live up to themselves. Like like a female or a woman or a girl that has high standards, she can meet them herself. In my opinion, this has to do something internally. Like it's something that like what's holding you back from meeting your own standards. If those standards are put upon yourself by you, then that's on you. But somebody put those standards on you, then that's different. I feel like it has to do a lot with like confidence and high self-esteem. Like when you see yourself being capable of, yeah, I could do this. There's nobody in the world that can tell you that you can't. So it's up to your own self-esteem and your own standards to believe in yourself and make things happen. So like if you feel like you're not achieving that or meeting those standards, it has to do something internal. Because there are certain people in the world that like they could be rich, they could be super successful, but they still feel like they haven't achieved anything yet, or they haven't achieved what they thought they wanted to achieve. So at the end of the day, it comes down to like an internal issue within yourself as a person.
I definitely can agree with that as well. It's that internal issue, man. Like again, I just depend a lot of like high standards on like your history. Just depending on what you have done, what you put into the game. Um, it's funny because one of my uncles, like growing up, always told me it's like a calculation to like the mileage that a kind of a female has been going through. You have to multiply the bodies by the hours that they've been been in intercourse with. Then you gotta multiply the hours that they've been in intercourse with by the duration of time that the person has been together. So that's like zero point 0.7 of the time that they. So you have to multiply the amount of time that they see each other during the week, the days that they see each other for the week, the amount of time they see each other in the month, and then you got to go into the years. So when you actually put the mileage in, the calculations and everything, when you see if you was to kind of like a male or a female and the mileage that they have with them, depending on like if you compared it to a car, it's like, do you want a Mercedes Benz with 13,000 miles, or if you want a Mercedes Benz with 78,000?
Yeah. When you put it that way,
But also it depends on the one car user, or if it was a two car, if it was a three car, four car, the 5 person, 6 person car user. Like if that car has been used
a lot.
often,
Yeah, I like that
the
because
amount of mileage is on that car.
there could be one user and have like 100,000 miles, yes, or there could be about 25 users and only have like 25,000 miles.
But don't get me wrong, the 100,000 miles in a car
with
with
one
one user.
it's not bad. That means that person was with that person for a very, very long time. So that person probably don't have that many partners. So I mean that's a good thing.
But 25,000 miles on it with each mile is different.
Yeah, exactly.
Owner is kind of
crazy. So it all depends because even if the person just go and have like you just put the tip in, that's still intercourse. He's still penetrating.
I can't count that.
Bro,
I'm gonna say that I can't count that only because a female in my younger days had told me like, unless you get like a full blown
sex obsession.
not even a sex thing. You just gotta one of the peoples has to release like that. Has to, he's gonna nut, catch a nut. It's not a body, and that's how I kind of held my standard. You can't just tell a female. It's like you can't tell a female you just pick a female up and then you just like.
Now you're thinking I'm talking about your tip.
I know, but I'm saying like.
Yeah.
That doesn't count as a body. You can't count that as a body.
Bro, once you get whether it's a male or female, once you get the draws off and some type of penetration happens, that's your body. Regardless.
I don't think that's a body. That can't be counted as a body.
To me, that's like making excuses for whole antics. Like if a person said, "Oh, that person put half of his dick inside, but he didn't go all the way in." What you mean? Put half of his dick inside? Like,
what does that imply?
That you are willing and available to have sex. Maybe the guy gets nutted before he was able to stroke more.
No, that doesn't. You didn't accomplish anything. You haven't done it. You didn't put in no type of work.
Maybe
like you can't go to work. You can't go to work for 30 minutes. No pause. You can't go to work for 15. Not even 15. You can't go to work for 5 minutes. It just does. How do you clock in? You get the stamp card.
It happens, but why did you clock in and an emergency happens and you gotta leave because let's say your wife or your kid or something.
You done working?
You have to leave.
Right? You done working?
You done working. You leave.
You done working?
Yeah, you leave and you clock it out. You done.
I don't know, man. It's different. I mean, females and ladies can definitely comment for themselves, but for the most part, I don't think you can go in, clock in for 2, 3, 5 minutes.
That counts. And you even ask your brother, he will agree with like, yo, if I put half of my dick in there, it's my body already.
One time.
One time, yeah. He'll tell you, yeah. Ask him. I wish you would
have
watched this.
So if you was giving the head to a female and you gave her one lick or a sniffle.
Wait, that's sniffle. Sniffle's not
you
really
sniffle, but your nose touched the vagina. You was no lip, no tongue, no nothing.
That's not.
And she's like,
that's not the same as penetration though. That's
so just any penetration.
To me, okay, let me ask you this. If your girl comes to tell you, a guy put 2 of his fingers in my pussy, you're not going to be mad at her?
I'll be upset at her.
You're not going to count that as penetration?
It was different male. But if it's myself, it's different male.
You're not answering the question.
You said girlfriend, which means that at the end of the day, we're still together, which means that at the end of the day, another male is touching her with her private area.
Okay, let's say she's not.
Which means that she's still.
Let's say she's a girl.
And she's not my girlfriend? No, why would I be mad?
No, okay. But will you count that as a penetration?
No.
Yo, this is the number one devil's advocate right here, yo. Hire him. If you want a criminal to come out of prison, hire this motherfucker right here. He's going to defend him to death.
Because you just said it. You said...
penetration, like they put 2 fingers inside, right?
And she's not my girl.
Okay,
do
right.
I think that he's penetrating? No, he's giving her. He is rubbing her pussy.
That's penetrating. I'm not talking about rubbing, bro. I'm talking about penetrating.
If a man put it in one time and he's proud of that, he comes to me and tells me, "Yeah, I'll put one in there." If that gives you a championship, a trophy.
It's not about how you feel.
That's your individual. Yeah,
it's about whether it's a penetration or your body or not.
I don't think it's a body.
I feel like we put the fingers on the dick or your lengua and you taste the pussy. You know how that pussy tastes like. That's your body.
That's your body. That's how you feel.
Yo, bro, that's how I feel, bro. I feel like there's nobody gonna come and tell me like, oh yeah, I put like my whole fist in your wife and then I lick my fist and like it's okay. No, it's not okay.
I mean, at the end of the day, again, when we go back to it, there have to be some type of mutual, like either has to be my girlfriend or
I'm
wife.
pretty sure if I ask your girlfriend, oh, let's say somebody or anybody that you mess with, oh, if somebody sucks you once dick but they didn't fuck, because that's kind of, they're still kind of like a
if
body.
the female is not my girlfriend or wife or somebody that I told that it's somebody that I kind of have a relationship close to,
So it's not a body.
no.
I need more opinions. Where's Jay? I need more opinions, though. I need more opinions because I feel like this is a good debate. I like debates.
It's not it's not my girlfriend. I can't get upset at anything that she does outside of us either having sex. Now, if she's my girlfriend or she's my wife or she's somebody that I connected with, meaning like you obviously talking to me for a couple weeks, couple months, etc., and we made ties that we came to a solution and made a certain connection, a certain bridge that you can't cross or be crossed, then yes, I do think that's disrespectful on the topic of another man even touching you, etc., etc., blah blah blah. But if you are a single woman or a single man and we are just fucking, and you go and do whatever you want to do, that is how your man or whoever that person considers it to be.
We kind of moved on from the main source of the topic though, because it was about basically about what you consider a body. So like to me, like I'm not gonna be mad if you're single, but I'm gonna count your body count. I mean, like
Now,
if you like, yeah, you could be single, whatever you are, whatever your status is.
what do you consider a body? Now, I would say, what do you?
A penetration
honestly,
is a body.
Negative. I consider a body like a full blown body is if you catch a nut. In my opinion, like you cannot smash a female.
Only because you didn't listen, right? You
Yeah.
didn't catch a nut, but you penetrated.
No,
That's still a body because only because you didn't catch a nut, that's not the situation's fault. That's your fault. Maybe you malfunction. Maybe
Negative.
you don't know how to nut. You know.
Negative. I don't think you have to catch a full blown nut in order for you to have a body. You can penetrate, you can do whatever, and you might not enjoy it. She might not enjoy it. Did I enjoy it? That's a body. Like I'm not gonna go and brag about because I feel like you have to brag about somebody. You can't go out and say, "Yeah, I did this and this and this," and knowing that like that person had no.
So let me ask you this: if somebody gets raped and the person just put the dick in at one time and they pull it out, that's not rape.
That's rape at the end of the day.
But why is it considered rape?
Because at the end of the day, like the person still penetrated without reason, not even to catch a nut.
Doesn't matter.
No, not to catch a nut. No, but not to catch a nut. To force yourself into somebody that's crazy at the end of the day.
No, but it's penetration, bro.
Nah, you trying to connect penetration with.
No, I'm saying it's penetration. It's penetration regardless of the situation. It's penetration.
In your context. Again,
Oh
in my context,
let me
catching a body.
Let me ask some opinions real quick.
Okay.
Hopefully somebody answers real quick, but let me ask an opinion. And let me ask, female opinion. Hopefully this person answers.
Again,
I wish Akima was on.
I don't think that just smashing or whatever and not catching the nut does anything.
What up, sis?
Hey,
Yeah, well, I'm not
It's
gonna
a
take much
Tuesday.
of your time, sis. We live right now, so I just wanted to ask your perspective about a heated debate that Josiah and myself are having about what penetration means. So to me, penetration. So it started off like
catching a body.
catching a body, but catching a body goes with like, okay, if you penetrate it, it's not your body. That's what it was, right?
That's what you said.
Well, okay.
Penetration is catching a body, catching a nut, in my opinion, is catching a body.
So Safi,
So what is catching? So, in my opinion, like I was saying, I said that catching a nut, which means that you enjoyed it, y'all both had a full blown nut, is catching a body, not just penetration. Because penetration, like any person can put a finger in there, any person can put like one time in there, and they be like, and they can go and brag and be like, yeah, I did this to this person, or I did, and knowing damn well there was no type of satisfaction, there was no type of. But if you catch a full blown nut inside of somebody, like you actually got what you deserve and got what you wanted from that person. That's what
But that has more. That's still a body, right?
I guess I never had a bad body. I never had a bad body.
Let me ask all three of you. Let me ask all of you. You, Simon, Safi, and Josiah. If somebody comes and puts a finger in your asshole, is that penetration?
It's not. I didn't put my thumb in her butt.
No, I'm talking about your asshole.
It never happened.
No, it
never happened.
No, I'm asking if it was to happen.
It never happened. It would never happen. I can't. It would never be a story in my. It would never be a story in my book. It would never be a story in my book.
Like either way, being freaky or violated. Whether you let it, when you let. Thank you. You heard that, right? A penetration is something going inside you.
That's the liberal term.
Oh my God, bro.
Webster Dictionary. But in the main context of the sex world, I don't think anybody penetrating you would consider a body.
Oh my God, that's insane. So you're gonna tell me somebody comes and put a dick inside you? That's not penetration.
That is never gonna happen. That would never be a thing. It would never be a scenario. You cannot create a scenario that would never happen. You cannot create a. What? Honestly, negative. No, I do not have, and I can show you every single one. I can literally show you every single one. I can go show you every.
I thought this was let's talk about. I thought this was let's talk about it. No cap, but
yeah, it is. Let's talk about it, no cap. And I'm talking about it. We are sitting here talking about it. No, Safi, no.
Yeah, like honestly, like I wish people would join in and have this type of conversation because I feel like this is a good debate. It's fun because it's like grown, mature topics, and a lot of people shy away. A lot of people like decide being a little delusional right now, but
I'm not being delusional. If you ask any person from, other than the two people that you ask, if you put on a poll.
Basically, the argument was like we started off like this: if you put half of your dick or your tip inside, is that still considered penetration? And I was like, hell yeah, it is. Like,
or consider a body.
Oh, look who's Yo, we got a surprise guest in the building. This was different. Oh shit! Oh, it's about to get real. This is different. What? Did you know? You know he was coming? I didn't know he was coming.
He was coming. He was a Terramana.
Yeah. Yes. We gotta. Yeah, this is our first time. Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
I wasn't on the miss to see how this looks in person.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh. She got you, bro. She got you.
Again, the question is not about penetration. If you put the tip half, 75% one time, is it considered a body? Not penetration. Is it considered a body? And all I said was no. In my opinion, if I do not release a nut, meaning I had sex with a female and I did not get my nut personally, that is not my body. No, I do not consider. That is not. There was no such thing. Blue balls.
Honestly, but Yes.
You penetrate, but that's not a
I
body.
agree. A body is a body.
Thank you.
my
That's why I
God.
told you that he would say that. I told you before he got here that he would say exactly that. Right, Kelly?
Yeah, what happened when you off the Henry? You never not done yet.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the voice of Honduras for the people that are wondering who's speaking right now. That's the voice of Honduras and Precious. So
You want to give me a dirty cup?
I think that was Jaquan's cup.
Now, who's the one that said the 8 feet?
Huh?
Who's the one that said the 8 feet yesterday? I don't trust Sharon Cup to tell no more. That's all about you.
Oh yeah. Now that we got Honduras real quick, I'm glad that he's here. Like, yo, we were having a talk about sucking feet, right? Sucking toes. I mean, not feet, toes. Honduras, do you suck toes? Hey. And would you allow a female to lick your butthole?
Never that. Just the cooch, but never that. Fingers, everything around the hole, and just no. A cooch is on the area, know what the cooch is at. There's no path past the cooch. That hurt, ladies and gentlemen. If you let any female go past the cooch, I don't know about you, man. You're in that funny side, right?
What?
You like spread your legs and you're gonna take. Come you down there, that's next level, like rock.
See that, even if you're straight, right? There's a saying that X-Men G-spot is in the a-hole.
Excuse me?
I know about that, that's it, dog.
Yeah.
Bro, that's what
Yeah, look at Sappy sipping her tea. Yo, I wish I would have seen that.
And not every man, I don't know what man, maybe man.
2022, we all game.
That's what I'm saying. The funny ones that I used to play like that, those are the type of guys that you talk about. The ones that spread their legs in the air and let the girl go to work out there. That's their spot. Those type of men, that's their spot.
Kelly just said that it's 2024, so we all gay.
Nah. It could be any year.
There's no evidence that said that. There's no evidence that said that. There's no proof that I ever said anything like that.
No, man, yeah, you didn't say that, man.
Sorry, man. Eyewitness testimony are iffy. The ears could be hearing things.
Oh man. So Josiah, let me ask you.
Josiah.
He's Josiah.
No, I be asking the same thing, Callie. Who's just
Yo.
There's Justin out there.
Yeah, Jaquan, he's not outside. He wasn't outside when you came. Oh,
They go somewhere?
that's what's up.
Yeah.
I was wondering why they're with the question.
But yeah, man, I like this type of topics. Like me personally, like, and I know you have said it before. That's why I was confident to say that you agree with me, Callie, because like to me, even if I just put the top of my head on the punani, that's my punani. Like at that point, I felt the punani. I felt how wet it is. I saw the lips. I saw if you're hairy, if you're not hairy. At that point, yeah, that's my poo. That's my body. Like I claim it. Like I'll be like, if somebody asks me, yo, how that pussy looks like, I could describe it. Exactly. If it's bad, that I take the L, but it's still my body.
Bad fucking work.
Oh man. So
I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't have bad body. I catch it. Now, every time I fucking fuck, what are y'all niggas talking about? How could y'all not? How? What y'all dealing with? I think I figured out who the hell's your side. Where the hell that come from? Got your alter ego?
like he'd be like, "How you catch a bad body? Who y'all dealing with?"
So sorry, anybody ever
smash, you call it out, right? Yo, bro. So every time you smash, you never got blue balls.
Every single time, whatever you're doing is not negativo. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like you got, like if you don't complete the mission, if you don't finish the mission, it's not a body, bro.
So like, okay, so like Honduras. All right, cool, Honduras. So like out of the 100 bodies that you got, every single one there.
Never told me I had a bad time with Samuel. It's always no, me. No, not me. I always liked it. That's why I said I was being very picky. I was never.
Yo, I just
People that smash anything, they the ones that be having bad bodies because you smash anything that walks and you think that was good. So of course you're gonna have bad bodies because you're a certain person. Like when you're a picky person, you know how to pick your body. You won't have a bad body. You know how to pick it. Or you do your research first before you smash.
You take your time, like, and assess the situation.
so let me ask you this: so y'all guys never had a one night stand, like a one time for the one time? Like that never happened to you guys?
It was a good body. One night stands was a good body. It wasn't no ugly. No, I'm sorry.
Yo, I wish Shaq.
People go through what they experience, but I didn't go through that experience. I never had a exactly. I never had a 5. Very few people. It's up to other people to decide if you had a 5. That's true. But of course, you're gonna say I only had 10s, and then somebody else looks at it and be like, "What the hell is that thing?"
Yo, bro, you gotta get the mic, bro. You gotta get the mic.
Oh, no, right there.
You get the mic.
Bro, we did not do bad body, though. We don't do bad body.
Yo, I think this is your mic, and that was our next mic.
Yeah, no, that was
Oh, I know one too.
You know, like just try to hold it like this consistently. But yeah, so yeah, guys, like this, I cannot wait to have you on the cast on the stream, man. Cause it's like, so bro, it's official. You got your ticket. But anyways, we here. Let's talk about it. No cap with Josiah. Special guest Kelly Swag.
no fixed appearance.
Special guest Honduras. Special guest Precious Love. Sweet Flame.
Sweet Flame Justin.
No, he's J. Quad. Sappy Sweet Flame. Yeah. Sappy. I'm surprised you haven't put something like Angry Love.
Angry Love.
Yeah, I love my sis, man. She's very yeah, young boss. Yeah.
I thought it was Sappy Dora the Explorer.
You got Sappy Dora the Explorer. That's right, sis. And that's you, like Sappy adult boss. Big Mama.
Big Mama.
Oh. But yeah. As a matter of fact, right now, like we're about to end the episode soon. This is the part of the episode that I literally love for everybody that watches the episode later on. This is a mature show. This is for adults only. This is not for kids. If you have your kids watching this, it's your fault as a parent that you're supposed to be monitoring what your kids are watching. So if your kids are watching my show, it's on you. So my question is, it's time for, well, sorry, let me retract. It's time for trivia! And it is time for trivia, baby. My favorite segment of the mother show. And I got a special guest, Kelly Swag. I got my other cousin, Josiah. I got my bro Honduras, my sis Precious Love, in this part of the segment. So the first question is, oh well, we gotta get the shots ready. For you, if you get the wrong answer, okay. This is just a prep thing. If you got a oh, then y'all don't have a cup. Yeah. This is a prep question or prep trivia thing. Y'all ready? All right, here we go. Name 3 body parts you find attractive. No judgment here.
Apparently, butthole, legs, chin, and lips. Yeah.
So you find a female chin attractive?
If she has a nice chin, yeah. If you got a double chin, no. If you got a double chin, you know something's going on. Why the fuck would you look at a person and be like, if a double chin is fire? You said legs, what else? Legs, chin, lips. So she could be 500 pounds? Come on now. He did say body parts.
Yes, and then let's add a twist to this. Yeah, that you find attractive. Yeah.
You? Why do you see somebody's tongue? I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
I don't want to know.
I'll just keep my question to myself. This thing is working?
It should be working. Like trying to pump. Yeah. Anyways, but okay. So like the thing is, damn. Too bad my bro and my sis don't have no shots. But you gotta answer the question under 5 seconds. Meaning, okay. Let's do it like a speed thing. Like a speed thing. Okay. Name 3 celebrities you like to have a threesome with. And go. 10, 9, 8. Okay, so that's 1. 6. That's 2. 5, 4, 3. Okay, Savi got it. All right, Honduras. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
3, 2, 1.
2. What?
What took you so long, bro?
10 seconds. 10
it
seconds.
Was 10 long seconds. 10 long seconds.
But did you say it on time?
Yeah, not before you finish.
All right.
Yeah, man,
Stay away from Big Sean's girl, man.
So, Kelly, name 3 celebrities. Name 3 celebrities you like to have a threesome with. And go. 10. Future don't count.
All right. Y'all might have a misconception of what's going on here. You know, but this is not that type of show, and I'm not that type of person. Just to clear the air. So on that note, about to get canceled by the whole community. I know, right? Just in case anybody gets confused. No, it doesn't happen that way.
You should see the bitch face. This was just pressing.
But this is giving me time to think, so this is good.
Oh my God. So, okay. 10, 9,
Liv Morgan.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I don't know, man. Female musicians.
So you got to shut that beer then. Yeah, you got to do it in front of the camera though.
If I get DUI, this is good. This is great evidence.
Chuck. 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 Okay. Hold on, guys. All right.
It's not the weekend, so I'm a little slow right now.
Chuck. Hey, he did it. He did it, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, come back to me with that question. I don't know.
All right. So now it's time for Josiah.
Lauren London, Megan Fox, and Janet Jackson.
Damn, that's not fair.
Janet Jackson. She's the first person I talked to the time.
You say what? You say what, bro? He was at the beginning of the episode, but he went to handle some business.
Like basic, Ice Spice. Everybody says people like that. Yeah, that's why I want to be unique. I gotta think about the people that you choose.
Okay.
I just said Liv Morgan. Nobody took more about me. I like Liv.
He said Janet Jackson, Lauren London, and Megan Fox. Yeah, Joseph was like, "Do I have the time to think about this?"
Yeah, like, I'm all under pressure. Sorry, give me another question, then. I'll be the first to answer. Thank you, sir, man. I need to think about this. I was stressed out. I'm tired and everything, and now asking me crazy questions.
The next.
Yeah, but I want to be unique. I don't want to say like the regular people. I could have said Ice Spice and people like that, but no, that's like so basic. Like I'm trying to be. What happened? Ice Spice is super basic.
Next question, guys. Next question. All right. Name 3 sexual fantasies you'd like to try with that special person. One of the people that you chose in the previous question. And so it's 3 sexual fantasies with one of the people that you chose in the last question. One of the names that you mentioned. And we're going with Josiah and 10.
Disneyland,
8,
the Mile High Club, and also Vacation in Aruba.
Disneyland?
With kids just right outside the door, huh? The kids don't have to be there. Kids do not have to be at Disneyland, folks. Those are Disneyland too that wanted to go to Disneyland. With their kids. Those that wanted to go to Disneyland by themselves if they wanted to go to Disneyland. Unless you want a Super Bowl and you go to Disneyland with your team, no adults are going by themselves. So you tell me you never went to go to Disneyland? As a kid. With my kid. With the kids on the But what if you didn't want to go to Disneyland with a kid because you wanted to always go as a kid but never got to go as a kid, so now you want to go as an adult? I think Michael Jackson said something like that. I think Michael Jackson did something like that. He wanted to go as a kid, but he went as an adult with a whole bunch of kids. Well, I'm going with what will potentially be my wife or whatever.
Yo, this is hilarious. Yo. Okay, the next one. Kelly.
No, go ahead and start the assignment. They answered pretty quick last time. I need time.
All right. So we go with Honduras. Honduras, name 3 fantasies that you would like to have one of the persons that you named last on the last question. Yeah, sexual fantasies.
Of course, happy though.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, my first option, and that'll probably be, let's say, a force of me, and like, that person is too cute. So that's it, 3 females.
Oh, yeah, you're right. My bad, sis. 10.
So I'm going to give you like 2 minutes to think about it. I got 0.
My bad, guys. My bad. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
I'm a for that. I would give you one answer.
Yeah.
I need more time for those kids. That's a lot of kids.
the- it's, Precious, it's your time. Oh my God. The minute she said you sure.
I'm good, Sappy. Yo, Sappy, I'm good. Precious. Sugar Love, Sugarland, Fire Flame.
Wow. Okay, not bad. She's not bad.
You got beer here, something?
Golden shower and sucking toes.
Golden shower and take a leak on you? And what makes you the special one? What makes you different from all his baby moms?
Oh my God, this is amazing. So, ladies and gents, we have reached the end of trivia.
She asked me what places, position, golden showers. That means like peeing or something.
Yeah. I mean, that's, he said like, that means somebody peeing on you. Oh my God! And even Simon like started walking away.
That's what happened.
We love you, Sappy.
It's a fantasy. I don't, you know.
So who you want to pee on you? Justin Bieber? Who?
Me?
Yeah.
I said Future.
Oh, you want?
So you listen to Future's music, and you like, gosh, I really wish he could pee on me. Like, how does the brain process things like that? You just listen. One of his songs, like, damn, I wish he could pee on me.
He just got done with some fat now.
I'm gonna think about certain things tonight.
That's why I don't come with. That's why I don't be here. Like, that's why I try.
I gotta think about certain things. Reevaluate my life.
The people that come over here that say what they say. Fair enough.
Yeah, so I ain't gonna like kind of like.
So what's a golden shower then?
Something I ain't gonna lie.
What's a golden shower? You want to see him take a leak in the bathroom?
So you say
you dark place.
You wanna pee on Future?
So you like, oh, that song is hard. I just want to pee on him. You see, when you put it that way, it sounds crazy, right?
I want to pee on him.
Okay, R. Kelly. But R. Kelly's weird for doing that.
Yeah. Oh my God, this episode is stupid. I love it. I love it. That's why I love this show because it's crazy. Like we started off right now, the conversation was so like positive and morality was an all-time high. And then we were talking about basically about not knowing Garifuna, how like not knowing Garifuna, how does it make you feel out of place, or how does it make you feel like you don't really belong in the culture because you don't understand or speak the language. That was one of our main topics earlier.
We came a long way from that positive topic.
People peeing on each other.
You came a long way.
Whoever watches this whole whoever sits down and watches this whole episode later, they're gonna be all inspired, motivated.
They might want to get pissed on.
And then by the time they like, this was a good episode, we're gonna start talking about
They go sideways.
Oh man, but
If you let people pee on you, there's something wrong. Don't let people pee on you.
Yo, Ush, will you let somebody pee on you?
Or spit in your mouth.
Or what about spit in your mouth?
But that pretty much happens when you kiss somebody. You exchange your spit.
No. None of the above.
Wait, what? What's that? I didn't hear what happened. No, I didn't even hear it. You said, what, somebody poop or somebody?
She said, what if it doesn't feel like pee?
What does it feel like?
Hot water? Tea? Poland Spring?
That's what I think like Simon brings a different dynamic into this, and I love it.
Shout out to Sapphire.
Like somebody coming with some shit that is like, Ush. You know what? Let me just end the episode real quick. Everybody that tuned in tonight, thank you so much. It was fun. And see ya next episode.